Can you hear me? Oh, I do not like this necklace, you guys. I do not like this necklace at all. I do not. I will take it off. How are you guys doing? Let me know if you can hear me. I wanted to get my headset, but um, all righty. Hi, Michelle. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Yes. Oh my goodness, girl.
Oh, so how does the lighting look? Do I
Oh,
need to adjust my lighting? I can't see.
hold
Do
on.
I
One
need
second.
to
One second. One second. I have
yeah?
a back. I have a backlight that's. I mean, sound that's coming on. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I think it's good now. Okay. All
Okay.
right. What did you say?
How is the lighting? Do I need to adjust my
Oh,
lights?
you look good. We're live. You're good. Can you guys see Michelle?
Can y'all hear me?
She looks fabulous. Look, and as soon as I started talking, every time Otis comes running up here. Here he is. Here he is. Mr. Otis, come over here, buddy. Come over here. Right here. Right here, Otis, over here. Right over here. Oh, Otis, come on. No, over here.
Yeah, I
Come.
don't know where Romeo is. My cat normally joins me, but he's eating, I
It's,
think.
but isn't that something how when you are like when you're doing your videos, does your cat like suddenly like appear?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like an animal thing?
Yeah.
Is
Romeo,
it?
Romeo, my cat, is a Velcro cat. He's 18, and he's just attached to my side. I love him to death.
Oh, so that is so sweet. I didn't know cats were like that. Cats seem to be so much more independent and less reliant on their owners, but I
Not
guess not Romeo. Romeo.
Hi, Serenity.
Well, thank you so much for being here with me today. So I was going to do a 5 o'clock and then a 7 o'clock, but I had some. I have to tell you what happened briefly, just so everyone can understand what the
Mhm.
trauma. I'm like literally trauma I am going through right now. Okay, you all know I have a charity, right? Well, every like this happened last year too. So I have this grant that still hasn't paid me out yet. It's for the whole year. Well, they're holding the funds until the money gets approved by the um like their Congress, like it goes through all these different people.
Mhm.
And during all of this, the new guy comes in, like he started last year, well, a couple years ago, like in my year two of this grant. This is a 3-year grant, and starts nitpicking at every single thing around my paperwork, like
Um,
everything. We never had any training. There were never any like protocols that he wanted. Like it was, we were just rush-shotting it. We were just doing it. We were just trying to make it work, with submitting our paperwork to get reimbursed. This
mhm.
man is not happy with anything that I have done in terms of what I've submitted for paperwork. And now he has reversed my grant obligations to not be paid out, but to be reimbursed. So the only way I can get my money from my grant is to pay the bills first, and then they'll give me the money back. I am beside myself,
Oh,
like livid. Like all the money I've spent since January now, because they haven't been able to pay out the grant. It's a nightmare for me right now. So I just want everyone to please understand. It was one of those days for me. I could not do my 5 o'clock.
mhm.
So, but I'm here now.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry. That is terrible.
I'm like, no, look, we are not going to not do our live. So at least we're able to come
Yes.
together today. And I'm
Yes.
just gonna I mean, I have to bring in a lawyer. It's a hot mess. It's a
God,
hot mess.
I'm sorry.
So but you now, Michelle, tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, you work like a regular 9 to 5, right? So you want to tell everyone about yourself a little bit? I'm not sure if
Yeah, so I've been here for about 4 years doing the royalty, but I do have a full-time job. So yeah, I just got off work. Kind of
Mhm.
zhuzhed up the hair.
Yeah.
Uh, I work a full-time job, and then my dad had recently passed. So I was taking care of my dad, who was had a
Mm,
stroke. Um,
mm,
yeah, just family obligations, and I work and try to do the tea as much as I can, but
yeah.
it's hard with the job. So I'm really trying to push
Yeah.
my other channel. That's my goal is between now and the end of the year is to really grow. I'm at 42,000 subs. after 4 years, and I'm really trying to get to 50,000. I just feel like I should have been farther along, but again, I just couldn't, keep up with the
Mhm.
demand. And
Yeah,
but
it is a lot of work to run a YouTube channel,
it
it
is.
really is, and yeah, I mean, I've gotten into a rhythm with running my charity. Like I do my charity work in the morning for my charity, and then I do my videos like after like around 3, get them
Hmm.
out as close to 5 or 4 as I can. But it is a lot of work. And but how often do you post videos or?
Well, see, that's the problem. I'm not very consistent. Because like a lot of people here, I get very tired. I have an eye condition, so I get like blurry vision sometimes. And after working 8 hours, I get exhausted, and I get
Okay,
very
yeah,
big fatigue. I got to be honest with y'all. But there's so
yeah,
many stories. Sometimes you don't even know where to start.
I
So
know, right?
put them together into a video that makes sense. Uh,
Yeah.
my goal moving forward is 3 to 4 videos, and I'm starting to do lives on Sunday,
Oh, okay. What time on Sundays?
noon, Texas
So
times.
so Texas time. So that what's is that that's
Yeah, 1
CST?
o'clock Eastern. Right. Uh-huh. So
Okay.
starting on Sundays, and I have my two mods are in here, Lizzie and Carol. They're amazing. They're helping me with my channel. And I have another channel which I'm going to focus more on other royals. And it's for me, it's time. Time. I don't have time. And then when I do have time, I'm exhausted. So I'm
Yeah.
my time management, trying to get myself up in the morning, which is a
Yeah.
struggle for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here today. So everyone, please head to Royal Daily Tea and subscribe to
Yeah.
her channel. She's working hard, and I love your videos. I think you do a great job with your videos.
So
Yes.
well, I've been a huge fan of yours for many years, and I'm a little salty. I try to be a little funny. I try not to
Mhm.
be mean, but I'm a little sarcastic,
Yeah, I like your sarcasm.
a
It's
little
funny. I
Texas.
mean, you have to look at it like that because I think even at this point now, it's just getting so ridiculous with Harry and Meghan and everything that is going on. And that's what we're going to be talking about. I wanted to talk a little bit about the pregnancy conspiracies and why this pregnancy thing that Megan didn't work, like how she tried to do this, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what we see as the future, the outcome of all of this,
Yeah.
because there is definitely going to be a reaction to everything that has been happening because there's a goal that Harry and Meghan are trying to meet. And
Right.
that's why we're seeing all the things that we see with them because
Mhm.
they're hustling, this is the American hustle for them. And
Yeah.
so when we see them out there doing whatever it is that they're doing, I mean, and they've done a lot,
Hmm.
you know that they're doing every single thing because they want a certain outcome from doing said whatever it is that they're doing, and they're
Yeah.
not getting what they want from all the things that they're putting out there. They're never going to get
Right.
that end result that they're seeking.
Mhm. Right.
Okay.
Yep. It's a little bit of
Yeah,
shock and awe. The Sussex
yeah,
strategy, shock and awe.
yeah,
That's
it is.
what.
It
Hmm.
really is.
First
And so
minutes that that's kind of how they started, Padina. They
mhm,
royal family to the punch. They put out the announcement.
mhm,
Everything with Harry and Meghan is about doing it first, shock and awe, and that's why they're a mess right now because they have
yeah,
got themselves into a corner where they can't get themselves out. And on my most recent video, I talked about the dangerous saying they say when someone has nothing to lose, they will take everything from you. And Harry and Meghan at this point, they don't have anything else really to lose because the royal family has gone no contact with
yeah,
Harry. They're done. And
yeah,
I think about 2 years ago, Padina, I was on your show and we had a conversation about we both were under the impression that, well, the door is ajar for Harry. He could come back. Well, I don't believe that anymore. I believe it's 100%
yeah,
done now. He's going to be sitting there with little Uncle Andy at the church pew. It's over.
yeah.
He's not. If you divorce Megan and you come back, honey, you're sitting with Uncle Andy. It's over.
That's
And
right.
then
Yeah.
bring you back to working royal and your children, not happening.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I absolutely agree with you 100. As a matter of fact, there's an article that came out that talked about, I'm gonna do this on my video tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
about Harry wanting to return for the summer. There's talk about him returning for the summer because see, this is what is so key about the story that he wants to return for the summer. It's
Mm-hmm.
the first little break into what I've always said. Harry, and I'm sure you said it too. Yeah, we all have said it, wants to go back. He wants to go live back in the United Kingdom, right?
100%. Think they
100%.
wanted to leave Padina. I don't think they actually wanted to leave. I think they were acting like a bunch of, 3-year-olds. When a 3-year-old runs away from his mama, he's throwing the fish
Mhm.
behind him to see if his mom's going to come get him. But
Mm.
like, all right, you want to leave?
Yeah.
We'll shut the door. And then all of a sudden, Harry and Meghan are like, wait a minute here.
Right, right. Yeah.
Come back. But it was too late, right? Because they thought they were playing chess with the queen, and she
Mm,
called their bluff. She gave them the year, and they
mm.
messed up.
Yep.
And then they were like, no, I think we're good. And now
Yeah.
Harry and Meghan are proving, in my opinion, that he wants to come back. They don't get rid of their titles, they give it to their kids.
Mhm.
On the BBC interview, he's acting like he wants a reconciliation. It,
Mhm.
it's weird, right? That's not sounding like two people who really wanted to leave for good, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. It seems like he was calling their bluff. I mean, I think for Harry, it was a lot of excitement. Oh, I'm rebelling. My mom wanted to move to California, and I'm actually going to do it. And I can imagine Megan talking Harry into this great life they're going to have in California. And she made it seem so exciting. And then
Yeah.
Harry just was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's just go,
Mhm.
thinking that perhaps maybe he would get a little pushback not to go, but they were like, okay, go ahead and go. And for
Mhm.
him, I think he saw some excitement into that because it is exciting to just say, okay, like even when I moved to China the first time, it was like, oh my God, what am I doing? But then it was like, this is exciting. Let's go for it. Let's do it. And there's all this excitement in the beginning, but then real life starts to set in and your normal becomes like your everyday now in this foreign
Different.
country, and you're
Right.
like, okay, now what?
I think
And
born off 5 years later. I think Harry is kind of missing. He sees his brother stepping up, and he's starting to see Prince George.
yeah,
Like they're moving on without him, and now he's kind of, I think, regretting what he did. He'll never admit it, but I think he is regretting his choices. And Megan's loving it because
yeah,
Megan didn't want to be royal. She just wanted the title and the fame, and she's gotten it. She's gotten what she wants. So,
yeah.
in my opinion, when you look at their Instagram,
Mhm.
you're seeing that Megan is living her moment. She's back to being an influencer, and she's
Mhm.
starting to bring out the children, which goes against everything that her and Harry stood for:
That's
protecting the
right.
kids, the privacy. Right? We don't want
Mhm.
them to be part of the royal family because they're in the zoo, but yet
Right.
they're princess and prince. So it's like, well, you're still carting that zoo around, and now you're
Mhm.
going more and more. So
Yes.
they're very big hypocrites, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Megan's loving it, and I think this is what Harry initially he wanted to go back, but he said, "I'm only going to go back if you give me this certain kind of security, like making it like the special royal package of security, like what he had before he left." And I
Right.
think Megan bluffed it out like, "Well, if I go back ever, I want what we had before." Like, and she knows it will never happen, but she's giving him a little glimmer of hope that maybe she will, go back knowing that he won't get that security. And so I think Harry thinks there's a chance that it could happen, but now that he didn't win, I think, it's at this point he's just going to have to make a go for it and just really just leave without Megan because I don't see her going to live in the United Kingdom. Like you said, she is
Mm-mm.
in her influencer mode. She is living her dream now. Harry already gave her what she wants, you know?
Mhm. Well, the interesting thing is, I believe I saw an article. I didn't finish reading it.
Hmm.
The Invictus Games are in, is it Birmingham, 2027? I don't know if I'm the right town,
Yeah.
but will Megan be with him in 2027 to go back
Mm-hmm.
to the UK? Because she's gone to every single Invictus game.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be very interesting to see if she goes with him to this one. So
Yes, it will be.
apparently he's not planning to return now until 2027.
Yeah, that's what I heard that.
Mhm. That's
So
interesting. Of
isn't
course,
that interesting? Because but before that came out, he was talking about going for the summer. Did you hear Neil Sean report on that?
yeah, I think he was talking to his Spencer side of the family,
Yeah.
which he's going through a divorce, which is interesting.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute, a minute.
You know,
Spencer is going through his what, fourth divorce?
mhm.
Already, didn't he just get married?
No, he was married to Karen for about 15 years. They have a daughter,
Right.
and he's already with his co-star from their podcast already. Yeah, he's already got a new girlfriend. He's going through his
Oh.
divorce. It's going to be messy because the girlfriend is suing the wife because the wife let it known that she has MS and she didn't want the public to know. So apparently there's a lawsuit. Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting divorce.
Oh, some drama.
I might cover that on my other channel. So I always felt like Charles Spencer was a little bit of a cad. He dines out on Diana a lot.
Mhm.
Harry have
Mhm.
that in common. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, there was talk that he was in talks with his uncle about buying a home next to Althorpe, which was Diana's childhood home. But I don't think that ever really happened. Instead, they ended up buying the place in Portugal, which is where Eugenie lives. So
Yeah.
that that could tie into the as ever, the Airbnb thing. But I thought it was going to be Harry's bachelor. I was
Oh,
like,
really?
he's doing that. He's doing it. But that could be one of the properties for this new hospitality thing because they're buying that. They're building a house in Portugal, and it's like a vacation area. So I wonder if that's going to be part of as ever.
Oh, yeah, right. Because Megan wants to do this whole hotels and things. Yeah. So she's. Do you think that's going to go anywhere? Really? Like now, she wants to do that hotels.
Well, what she wanted to do, according to Neil Sean, was that she wanted to get her jam or her spread,
Mhm.
which I find hilarious. That jam's her jam, and she can't even make jam. All right.
Okay.
She wanted that to be like in Harold's and some of the high end stores. So that could have been the hospitality part. Maybe she was thinking about the hotels, the gift shops. It could be wrong on that.
Mhm.
I can't imagine how she would do an Airbnb. Is it just gonna she gonna have her jelly there for you to have in the morning? Like I
Yeah.
just don't understand what that would be. And I think the name as ever is such a dumb name.
Yeah. It really is.
As ever, I just wrote as if.
I was
Like
just going to say that as if
it's the
ever.
name ever. Yeah, ever. Yeah, it's just the stupidest name ever.
Yeah, it really is. It's not a very catchy name. I mean, Megan has made so many mistakes, but this is where I'm leading to with all of these mistakes and why you like I think this pregnancy thing has shown us the
Mhm.
continual trying, wanting to, get this outcome, to have this success and to really build on it. And this is why that pregnancy video just was such a colossal mistake
Right.
because I think it showed a side that you're wondering, like, why would you go there? Why would
Mhm.
you go there? And we know Megan has gone there a lot of times.
Mhm.
Now, one of the things that I wanted to mention about why Megan won't get what she is seeking,
Mhm.
because there's a history. There's a lot that she's done, a lot that she's done, and things that I think a lot of people don't really, well, not a lot of people, but some people don't really pay attention to the things that have happened. It's like, okay, that's happened, and now they're moving on then to the next thing. But if we look at some of the mistakes that they've already made, Megan in particular, like the whole Disney thing. I think that was like one of the first things when Harry wanted to ask or did ask uh the president of Disney,
Mhm.
asking Megan for a job, like, in the receiving that to I mean, think about that from a celebrity perspective.
Mhm.
How uncouth and how just trifling, like my grandma would say,
Yeah.
trifling. That's just trifling, girl. You
Mhm.
know, like that looks so bad in the eyes of, I think, the Hollywood people. Okay. I think that is what made Megan look, oh no, we've lost Michelle. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, folks. Okay, I'm gonna go to my super chats since she is gone. I know they were having some issues with her. Okay, here she is. Okay. Girl, I thought you left alive. Okay.
With you, remember the conversation, y'all. We had really bad storms in Texas, and
Okay.
all my power went out like 5 times last night. And I was just sitting here, and it just went. Whoop. Sorry
Oh,
about
okay. Okay. I get I remember you
that.
mentioning
Sorry about
that.
that. Yeah.
Um, Okay, so I'm gonna get finished what I was saying, but let me just really quickly. So, Diz fan 9212, thank you for your super chat. She's saying, I find that Harry Meghan situation almost is similar to a current situation with my cousin and her fiance, especially if you reverse the genders. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's a common thing. Like there are people in this world that have the characteristics of people like Harry and Meghan, no doubt, and I can only imagine having to deal with that in your regular life. I mean, we deal with it here. I could just turn the computer off, but
Mhm,
imagine
mhm.
that having that in your life. That would be a lot to deal with. Yeah. So thanks
Yeah.
for sharing that. I'll get to your other super chat here in a second. But to my point, what Megan did when she did that Disney, on the receiving end, wanting people to, know that she was looking for work, that was the beginning of her influencer life, I think. Wouldn't you agree? Or was there anything else?
And the thing that's so interesting is royals are not celebrities. The thing about royals is the mystique. It's
Yeah.
the You're not a normal person. You're a person who's supposed to be kind of held to a different kind of standard. You're a royal, so you don't operate in the same way that a celebrity would or that a normal person would. You're a royal, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
and the thing that was interesting was you could tell that Beyonce and Jay Z were kind of fangirling over Megan when they sat there with that picture of Megan. They were like, oh, the Duchess, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when Beyonce met Megan and overheard her asking for a job, you could see her expression
Yes.
like, oh, girl.
She was like,
She
no, you did not go there.
just So at that moment, Padina, I think Beyonce was like, oh no, ma'am. And if you've noticed, ever since we've never seen Megan backstage at Beyonce concerts, the VIP,
Yep.
even though she attends, we don't ever see her pictured with actual Beyonce.
Yep.
She's
And you
been
don't see
out.
her doing the selfie. Like if
Yeah.
she were to even maybe go backstage later after the concert or something, like with James Ingram, she was able to go backstage, right? Because it's James Ingram. I mean, not Ingram, Taylor. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
How
I mean, like
always do that?
Taylor Swift and Prince William.
Right,
She
right.
didn't have that moment, and she's gone to her concert what 2 3 times. We've never seen her backstage with Beyonce ever.
That's right. So
I
she
just
never has gotten that moment.
hmm
So I think that says a lot to how Beyonce feels about Megan.
I think
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. So we know that was the very beginning. And then you think about what people were saying behind the scenes when that happened. Because it
Mhm.
went around Hollywood like
Right.
what's like wild ivy or whatever. Like people were like, "Did you see that Meghan Markle was asking Bob Iger for a job?" I mean, and just think about how appalled the celebrities were at that. So I
And she
think
was still a working
beginning.
royal at that point, wasn't she? Still a working royal. This was
She
before.
was. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And Harry was supposed to actually go and speak or commemorate the fallen soldiers for a charity. Like he even
Mhm.
canceled his plans to go do
Right.
that. Okay?
Right.
So that I believe was the very beginning. Okay?
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay, so we've set the tone that Megan, she just couldn't wait to be that influencer because she went to ask Bob Iger for a job. Now, what do you think the next moment was that she did?
Well, obviously, I would say Megxit, the whole thing with the whole, the birth of Archie, that whole weird thing. See, I think what happened is Meghan and Harry did not help themselves with this whole secrecy, smoke and mirrors. So that's when they started, in my opinion, to get the mistrust of the
Mm-hmm.
when she became pregnant with Archie, the whole baby bump. Let's just back up to the very beginning when
Mm-hmm.
she announced her pregnancy at Princess Eugenie's wedding. The woman already had a bump. I'm like, that's kind of odd. And she was flicking her coat out, right?
Yep, 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 yep.
And then when she went on her trip to, I believe, Australia, it was like right after she immediately had a bump. So people started questioning, is she wearing a moon bump? Now, I believe she wore a moon bump for aesthetics. We'll just go there because she
Okay.
wanted to be perfect looking, right? But then, of course, it was starting to evolve. And the whole smoke and mirrors, when she went against tradition, didn't go to
Mm-hmm.
the doctors,
Yep.
wouldn't pose after the birth when they had that weird surrogacy announcement that confused
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
And when they
Mm-hmm.
didn't tell you, she didn't pose at the hospital steps, that's when people started to like, have that mistrust. a little
Yeah.
bit. Then it's really just spiraled after that. And so I feel like I do believe there are kids. Now, how they got here, the stork, a unicorn, Megan, I don't know. And I
Okay.
know a lot of people don't believe they exist. And on one hand, I don't blame them because Harry and Meghan really started this whole conspiracy by their lies, smoke, and mirrors. They did it to themselves. And they literally, again, with the dancing video,
Mm-hmm.
helped them. It literally opened up again the surrogacy. It's like they're trying to dispel it, but yet it still opens to controversy. They don't help themselves.
Right. They've done so many things to make it
Yeah,
not appear legit. Like
right.
it just has that feeling of being fake. And I agree. I do believe there are children, but I must say
Mhm.
Archie's appearance does seem to change a lot.
Oh, the hair color is brown. I don't care what you tell me, it's brown.
It's yeah. Yeah.
I think she color corrects it. And look, my family, my sister's a natural redhead. My grandma was a redhead. We have redheads in my family. We only
Mhm.
had a child. I was not a redhead, even though I look good as a redhead. I have the skin color. My
Mhm.
sister's really real redhead. We're all brown and blonde here.
Okay.
So to say they had multiple kids with red hair, you would have to have a very strong gene. Maybe both parents would have to be redheads. And you
Mhm.
have a woman who's biracial.
Mhm.
So the fact that they do have one child with red hair, okay, but two, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. It
That's
doesn't seem right. And I think another point as well is how okay Megan's is up in age. She had these children in her 40s or her early 40s, right? Like she
I
just
think
turned
Archie
40,
was like 38,
38,
and then
38.
Polly was 40. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Hmm.
Getting pregnant like that back to back because we know she had like a miscarriage and yeah,
Hmm.
having a child,
Right.
then having a miscarriage, then
Hmm.
getting pregnant right away after that. Do you know how difficult that is, especially when you're up in age? Like
Right.
it does that flow of getting pregnant in
Yeah.
that sequence like that seems very difficult, but she managed to do it, right? So that,
Hmm.
for me, I guess makes me a little suspicious about,
Yeah.
the whole thing, because that's just not.
Yeah. Well, the timing between the miscarriage and Lilibet's conception was barely a month. And don't most doctors, if you have a miscarriage, make you wait a while? It was like she had
Yeah,
a period cycle and just boom, got pregnant.
right.
So she had a miscarriage. If you look at the op-ed that she wrote, the timeline, which was weird,
Hmm.
you do the math, 10 months. And when her daughter was born, it was like, whoa, barely a cycle. She got
Right.
pregnant immediately after a miscarriage. Now, I'm not a doctor. I don't have children. I can't tell you if that's how it works. But to me, it seemed like you said, wow, she's super lucky. She got the next cycle pregnant. Not a problem.
Right.
Up there dancing with her daughter, like no worries at all. And you're
So
40. So
there wasn't a full cycle, though, was there? Like she got pregnant
it was like
right
the next month. Yeah.
the next month. So she had the child. She had Archie in May. So
Mm-hmm.
she got pregnant in June.
Mm-hmm.
That is really
Because Lilybet isn't her birthday when her birthday is in
June
June.
4th, June 4th.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It was.
So does it that's a
Yeah.
year though. She was born June 4th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So would she have really been or gotten pregnant in June of the previous year?
Right. Because it's 40 weeks. Yeah. So it was really quick. But again, I don't believe the miscarriage happened.
Okay, so you don't believe there was even a miscarriage. Okay.
No. I believe she came out with that story. It was during one of her lawsuits. Hi, Paula.
Mhm.
It was during one of her lawsuits,
Mhm.
one of the tabloids, where she was going to have. I think it was the one with where she was outed for lying under oath with James Knopf, and they pushed it forward because that was before she announced her pregnancy. But around that time, Chrissy Teigen was getting a lot of sympathy for her story, which again, a miscarriage. And
Yeah.
Megan saw that and she thought, yes, I'm going to put out an op-ed and people are going to feel sorry for me. So
Right.
they
Yeah.
induced the judge to rule in my favor because poor me is pregnant again and I had a miscarriage. And they ended up delaying the trial and then she ended up winning, right?
Yeah.
That was the letter, I think, where she wrote to her daddy, that one.
Yeah.
Um, and so it just seemed to me that she wanted some of that attention. For a person who's so private, what was the point of writing that?
Right.
Chrissy Teigen had it covered. You didn't need to put your story out. She wanted to dispel the myth of miscarriage. Well, I think Chrissy Teigen covered it. We didn't need your story, but she wanted to be out there with her alleged story that she's changed. That was
Mm.
very much, I believe, copied from someone else. So
Mhm.
I think it was fake. I don't know if you believe that, but to me, I just don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't believe that she had a miscarriage. And I mean, you look at it both ways. If she had the miscarriage, getting pregnant that quickly after a miscarriage is very
Very,
highly
yeah,
almost impossible.
right.
And even if you didn't have a miscarriage, you're up in age, you just had a child. How do
Mhm.
you get pregnant that quickly afterwards? So there is definitely a lot of suspicion around the birth
Right.
of that Lilibet, that little, yeah. Okay.
Or she had a miscarriage and then used a surrogate and pretended to be pregnant. That could be the
Yeah.
other option, right?
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
don't know she's pregnant.
I'll have to do a deep dive on the weeks and
Yeah.
just really go all in on that because I think that takes a deep dive, a deeper dive to look at
Mhm.
to understand that. Okay, so I get what you're saying. So you say it was Megxit. Oh, let me just first ask this question from DisFan9212. Thank you again for your super chat. My cousin is the Harry, her fiance is the Megan. All my family has seen the warning signs. We some maybe. What? We some maybe. But okay, yeah, you know what? This fan 9212 exactly. Everybody in their family has a person like this, and I think this is why my channel I've always wanted to have purpose. Like
Yeah.
you can learn so much I think just about human behavior just by following this story, learning about Harry and Meghan and what all the controversy is around them because
Mhm.
there is a lot going on there. And I try to make it from a learning perspective
Mhm.
because I really truly don't want to come off as someone who's picking on Meghan and Harry or just saying things just to say it to enjoy the horrible things that are happening, but it
Yeah.
really is to it's a fascination. It's historical. It's almost like this is they're writing history because they're from the most famous family in the world, and you just can't believe what is happening on a world stage. And I just think
Yeah.
learning is the best way to watch this and learning from this behavior because yeah, like this Finn said, we have these people in our families, right?
Right. I think everyone can now identify with a Meghan or a Harry situation. And interestingly enough, the Beckhams, they always were a close family. Well, news has come out that Brooklyn Beckham has completely cut off his entire family. He's gone no contact, which
Really.
is sad. And I think it has to do with his wife, Nicola. She
Yeah.
could be Megan in that situation. So I might do a little bit more on my other channel about the Beckhams because I'm
Yeah.
starting to see parallels between when Harry was with his family, he seemed close, and then all of a sudden he gets with Megan and boom, he's literally no contact.
Yeah.
And now we have this Brooklyn Beckham, who always had a really close relationship with his father and his mother and his siblings, is now completely cut off his entire family, not just his parents, his
Mm.
siblings.
That is crazy. The
That's
siblings too,
so
for that matter.
is so sad. Now we can't say it's all her, but I just see a direct parallel. I'm like, are they
Yeah.
doing Meghan Markle over there?
Yeah, Megan got her claws and all that, I think. I think she's definitely over there talking and trying to be persuasive with it, but it won't go anywhere. I mean, he's still young, this Brooklyn. I think he has a lot to learn about struggle. I know you might have problems with your family, but hey, your family, you got a pretty good life, okay? So snap out of your delusion, your stupidity,
Well,
and
both of them are nepo rich babies who will never have to work a day in their life.
right. They
Cry
don't
me,
know struggle.
cry me a river.
Yeah, cry me a river, man.
Yeah.
Yes, it is narcissism. Thank you, Fan. It is narcissism 100. It really is. Okay, so you say the beginning was with the Megxit, okay? And I believe that too. So when Oprah started all of that, we have them leaving, going to America. But then you
Mhm.
just look at Megan's behavior in general. You look at the things that she has done and you're like just like with the whole thing with Disney, okay? She wants to be an influencer. But
Mhm.
then we also have to remember when Megan when she did this, and I know I say it all the time, but this is because look, y'all, there is something going on here, okay? But this is what we remember her doing, right? We remember this, and it's
Uh,
almost like you're showing people who you are, right? You want
mhm.
to be an influencer with the whole Disney thing behind the scenes. Now, what is this telling you, Michelle? What is this picture saying?
She's pretentious.
Yes. Yes.
And and also, so we can actually backtrack a little bit because there were stories after they got married of rumblings behind the scenes. And
Mhm.
me as a lifelong royal watcher, when they split up their house and moved to Frogmore Cottage, that was a red flag. I was like, oh, okay, different. Not
Okay.
moving to Kensington Palace. And then
Mhm.
when they split up their charities, remember they were going to be the Fab Four, like the
That's right.
that event.
Right.
And I was so excited for the Fab Four. I was really excited about it. And then it was kind of awkward. And then they immediately started splitting up their houses. And then we saw this behavior. Now, I don't know exactly what date that was, but she was still a working royal at that point, wasn't she?
She was. She was
Okay.
still a working royal,
Hmm.
and she was at the very beginning of her life as a working royal, and just in her head
Yeah.
around how she's all that in the tic tac, like I'm royalty now. Like
And
the ego was huge at this point,
right.
right?
Hmm.
It was off the chain, is what I say in
Yeah.
this picture right here. Because who does that? Who has all the seats around you emptied? And you
Catherine would never do that. No.
right. She would never do that. And the whole world is watching you at this point.
Hmm.
So that for me was one of those times where I just, Disney and then this, you just see this person doing these things and you think, okay, there is something going on there with
Yeah.
this woman. Okay.
Right. Hmm.
Now, before I look at my next moment, was there any other moments or things that you thought of that really showed people publicly the kind of woman Megan is? They gave you,
Well, okay, so let's see. So we had the weird thing with the pregnancy announcement at Eugenie's wedding, which was very rude.
yeah,
Still moment.
yeah,
And then, of course, well, the wedding itself. I mean, there was already. I mean, literally the minute she got it, married to Harry, it was just pretty much
yeah,
battlefield. So the whole thing with the wedding was very weird. Her family, again, we can't blame her for everything. So gave her the benefit of the doubt. But
yeah.
wedding, the pregnancy announcement was kind of like a red flag. And then the weird thing with the pregnancy, not following the protocol, doing the doctors, not playing ball, doing the photos. The
Okay,
Beyonce,
now this is where I'm going to stop you, Michelle.
okay,
Okay, you're
okay,
right about that. You're right about that. But then I will hear other people that have said,
mhm,
even in America, well,
yeah,
let her do her. Like they saw
right,
that as a power move for Megan to
yes,
be
they
able to put her
did.
foot down and to
Right,
say, look, I'm doing things by my rules, right?
right,
So it gave the impression that she was a strong woman able to speak up and tell those royals, look, I'm going to do me. This is me having a child. I'm not going to go by these archaic royal rules. I'm going to do me, right?
right,
So I'm just thinking visually,
hmm,
if you didn't follow this and you saw her do this,
right,
that would make you really understand the kind of person Megan is. So we have her at the Disney line. We
hmm,
have her at Wimbledon before
yes.
the whole world. What can you think of any other? I know this is I didn't tell you this and I apologize, but I just spontaneously, what comes to mind?
Okay,
Something else
so
that
we
she
had the
did.
Disney thing, right? The Disney
Yeah,
thing with Beyonce. We had the Wimbledon thing. We had the whole pregnancy thing. What was the other thing? Well, again, just like her entire time in the royal family was just so brief. But I
right.
would definitely say
Well,
the
this okay. The one moment that I am thinking of is after she's left. After she's left.
oh, you mean okay? So what was the question again?
So the question is,
Sorry.
what move did Megan make before the whole world to
Hmm.
show people the narcissism, as this fan said, like
Oh.
show the world that there's something wrong? Who does that? Like who goes to Bob Iger in the receiving line and asks for a
Right.
job? Who goes to Wimbledon and has all the seats around you cleared out? Things that she's visually done before the world because she wants people to see what she's doing. and you can't believe it. You're appalled at it. You're like, oh my God, why would she do that? Got these little gnats.
Well, I mean,
Give it-
I can't think of anything other than that.
Okay.
My brain is like freaking out. But I do remember, I would say the Megxit statement, the way that they controlled it without the royal family, the whole Sandra and him thing, but that wasn't public at the time. So yeah, I can't think of anything besides the Oprah Winfrey interview, which was a little bit later.
Okay. All
So
right. So
I
I'm
guess,
going to share what I'm
okay,
going to share with you what I think it is. Okay. So let me do it right now. Give me one
that's a good
second.
one. I can tell. She's ready, guys. She's ready.
Yes, 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 yes. You'll know right away.
Okay. Uh,
We all
yes.
remember this, right?
Yes, the Viscountess of Virtue Signaling, Meghan Markle.
Hmm. On the
Yes.
backs of dead children,
Yes.
publicity.
Yeah.
Who goes and shows up before the world to want to get publicity?
Hmm.
Brings cameras, brings Netflix, and
Yeah.
films her doing this
Hmm.
because of the dead children. All eyes are on what happened in Uvalde.
Okay, but okay, so I got to give you a caveat. But
Okay.
remember Harry and Meghan and their disaster tourist. He joined her. That was the
Yep.
cringiest moment.
What was it? The what?
Remember when they were the disaster tourists? Harry and Meghan touring the fires in Los Angeles.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Girl,
yes. Okay. Good
yeah,
one, Michelle. Good one. Good one. We're
yeah,
gonna have to start playing a trivia game.
we
We're
should.
gonna have to, I'm gonna have to make me a Meghan Markle trivia game, and we're gonna start like recollections.
Okay. Yeah. We should ask
Yes.
people in the comments if they have an event that stuck out to
Yeah,
them.
if there's an event that stuck out to you, let me know. Lizzie B, thank you so much for your P Dyna membership that you gifted, girlfriend. Lizzie B, I can always count on you to be here. Thank you so much. And look who's here, Paula. Thank you, Paula. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you, Paula. Paula, she be having some stories, man, about
Been
some of
putting out
these
some good
birthing
videos.
things. Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah, Paula's been putting out some interesting
Yeah,
videos.
she
I
sure
did
has.
like Paula. Yeah, she's put out some videos that I'm like, but hey,
Got the receipts on the birth certificate stuff. I mean, I'm telling you, that stuff is
yeah,
crazy. And that's also, I think, something else that gives people like the side eye at Megan because
yeah.
some things around the birth certificates don't add up. And definitely check out Paula M's channel to watch those videos because I think it brings into question a lot of things that are very, yeah, suspect and interesting because we still don't really have official birth certificates. You do know that, right? Like the ones that we've seen, they're not official birth
It's
certificates.
really strange. Now, Tammy Basso has a really good comment. She's like, there's an event when they went to those poor schools in New York City and made those kids listen to that the bench. Remember when she read the bench to those kids?
Okay, that's right. She did. That's right. Okay, thank you for that's true. She made
Yeah.
the kids listen to that her reading her book and the whole thing around the donations around the whole uh charity that they gave them like
Mhm.
soured fruit or veggies and didn't she donate like a washing
She
machine?
even brought in decor, carpets, tables, so she would look nice being
Yeah.
filmed. She did
Mhm.
not care about the kids. That was a photo op.
That was definitely a photo
It's
op.
weird, but
Trivia question. What was the name of the school that she went to?
Vaginitis. Okay, what is it? Do you
I'm
know?
like, I don't know. Does somebody know? Because I don't know. It was in Harlem. I think it was what was the name of the school? I'm just doing like a little trivia
Okay,
game
y'all
here.
need to Google. Put the answers in the comment. Quick,
But
quick.
yeah. If you know the answer, I think I'm gonna come up with a game, a royal
We should.
game.
Next time we'll do like a little game, win prize.
Yeah, that'd be fun to do something like that because there's so much out there, right? There's just so much there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I want to get into what you are going to be talking about in terms of their future because I know there's a lot. I can't believe the time has flown by this fast.
We're
I didn't
halfway
even
through
get
the
into my
decade.
pregnancy video.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So let's just go into the future of this couple. What are your thoughts around Harry and Meghan's future, because like I started this live
Mhm.
with, the things we're seeing Harry and Meghan do, there's constantly something. They're putting out things because they have goals. They are trying to achieve something, whether it's the fame, the riches, the
Mhm.
popularity of, trying to make themselves branded as the new American royals. There is definitely an end goal for this couple that they're trying to achieve. And I think that's why you see all of these mishaps, because
Right.
everything that they try to do doesn't work for the
Right.
reasons I just described with all these. I think that's it
Mhm.
just got it going with, there was this momentum that started with Megan, especially with all of these mishaps that she had. So now that
Right.
we've seen a lot of these mishaps, they're not well liked. They have a few supporters. They have the popularity of the marriage, or the connection to the royal family, but Harry wants to go back. He wants to go back to the United Kingdom. Now we have these two
Did
children
Vadina
involved.
leave?
Huh?
Hopefully she's coming back. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear
Am I
you.
still here?
Yeah, you're
Oh
here.
goodness.
Oh
I think
no.
Padina is going to come back.
I am here, woman. What
Okay, the
you
school
talking?
Immaculate Heart. I don't think that was the school. I think that was the school Megan went to.
Wait a minute. Can you hear
Um,
me? Michelle.
can you guys hear?
She thought I disappeared. No, you disappeared. She disappeared. Okay, okay. Yeah, so she'll be back. Um, okay. Who knows the name of the school? See, you guys are probably going to Google it, but the time's up. You can't answer the question now because I think we should have had it already by now. But okay, where did you go, woman?
I don't know. I was sitting here talking and you started circling, and I thought, okay, am I on still?
It's so funny because you thought it was me, but it was
It was
really you.
me.
It
Okay.
was
Well,
you.
it could just be the internet, guys. I'm sorry. They're just doing like weird stuff here. We're gonna get a thunderstorm. I never cut out, which is so weird.
That's crazy. Okay, it must be Meghan Markle's minions out there messing with the electricity over in Texas. Okay, so the future of Harry and Meghan. What do you see? And I'll tell you what I believe their future,
Okay.
where it's going to be.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, in my opinion, like I said in my last video, when you corner people, they have nothing to lose. They're just going to go balls to the wall.
Mhm.
And we're starting to see that with Megan's Instagram with her carting out the children. I think we're going to start monetizing the kids. I would not be surprised if there was a Lilybet clothing line. Let's be
Mhm.
honest here, she favors her daughter. She wants to
Okay.
do business with her daughter. She even dropped that little grenade for her 4-year-old. She wants to go in business with her daughter. So I would not be surprised because she's already tried to hawk some royal inspired fashion for her daughter that she quickly took down because she got backlash. She's
Mm.
going to start monetizing the children. I think as Betty, what I like to call her, ages and gets older, she's going to start putting out dress like a princess, be like Betty. Here's a link.
Mm.
I think there's going to be a clothing line for her kids.
Is that okay? So you see a clothing line.
Yeah, and then post divorce, she's going to cart them out and be like Mommy Dearest in her divorce book. She's going to use those children, I call them Mama's little dividend, as her paycheck. Because that's all she's got going on, Katalina. No one cares about her, right? And that twerking video pretty much told the world nothing is off limits.
Right.
I
That's
mean,
exactly right.
show birth footage next. I mean, my goodness, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
the shock and awe is the Sussex strategy. And after that video, and she's not embarrassed, like I thought,
Right. Like
like,
trying to put out PR, or
yeah,
putting out PR, not trying, putting out PR
yeah,
to say that it was
right,
a win.
uh huh,
No, it wasn't, girl. You were trifling, as
yes.
my grandma would say, trifling.
You were
Okay. You were
wandering,
ghetto.
yeah,
That
protect
is not
more,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, can you just imagine the royal family right now, their reaction? I just feel so,
I I was thinking about that, and I was thinking,
yeah,
can you imagine what the king thought when he saw that?
yeah,
He must have really been like, "Oh my god, for real, she is ghetto." Like, it
yeah,
would have sunk in at that point that it's
yeah.
true.
And I don't believe anyone in high society, royal society, anywhere thought that was cute.
Yeah,
I think
no.
what I talked about in my video was that Harry and Meghan have now ostracized themselves to being Instagram famous and D-list celebrities. They've lost the mystique of royalty.
Yep.
Nobody wants to touch them with a 10-foot pole in royal or high society anywhere except for the, ostracized exiled royals.
Mhm.
No A-listers in Hollywood want to fraternize with them. So the only thing they have now is really trying to make it on Instagram with some D-list celebrities. The Beckhams, the Clooneys, nobody wants to be seen with them because they're degrading themselves.
Mhm.
Beyonce even wants to be seen with her. She's like, I'll send my mom and you can promote her book. But it's like
Yeah.
you've been downcasted, girl.
Right. Yeah. Even Beyonce was like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to be seen with you. That right there, I think, yeah, it pretty
Yeah.
much nailed. It put the nail in the coffin. Is that how they say it? Like the
Mhm.
final nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
You've done it, and that should have never been for the whole world to see. Okay, so you say she's going to use the children. She's going to make money off of the children. She's going to pimp them out.
Mhm.
Come out with a clothing line for the children. What happens to Harry? What's like after the divorce? What's going to happen?
I personally feel that if they do get divorced, Harry will move back to the UK,
Hmm.
maybe get remarried to someone else, and maybe in 10 years he could slowly maybe do something. I don't know. I don't think he'll ever be a full working royal again. Uh,
Okay.
Megan, I think she's going to use those children. Those are her bargaining chips.
So do you think it's going to be a nasty divorce?
I go back and forth. They're either going to stay together because no one else wants them, and
Hmm.
or if they do get divorced, yeah, it's going to be dirty. Because another video I'm going to work on is there was three of us in that marriage: Harry, Megan, and the camera.
That's right. That's right.
Documented that whole relationship. It's like that's weird, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's more footage, Padina, of Harry in compromising positions, embarrassing videos. She's
Yeah.
got carted out to the highest bidder. So that could be why Netflix is hanging around because they know that the divorce may or may not be happening. The rumor of her sniffing out the divorce book,
Hmm.
I think that could have been a possibility. But again, if Meghan Markle, let's be honest, Padina, was hunting for a divorce book, I think people would have taken it because that would have been juicy. So the
Yeah.
fact that someone would have turned it down, do we believe that? I don't know. But
Hmm.
so part of me thinks the divorce might happen after 10 years.
Okay. Because of California laws right around
Right. And I think
divorce.
she gets the inheritance after 10 years.
What's that again?
She might get part of an inheritance after 10
Oh,
years.
okay.
Could be
Okay.
wrong. Could be wrong. Or they're just going to end up being together because I know people who you would I know someone who married a narcissist and they've been married a long time. So
But is
again,
that person happy? The person that married the narcissist, are they happy?
I mean, they made a choice and they're sticking with them,
But
right?
are they happy?
Yeah, yeah, it's questionable.
Do you think that Harry gonna be happy for real? For real? You might not get divorced, but you certainly are not going to be happy. You're going to be living a life of misery with that woman.
I don't think he's happy now, but I think he's trying to make the best of it because I think
Mhm.
his pride might be in the way he has to admit to everyone he was wrong.
Yeah.
I think they have good moments, like every couple, they have good moments, they have happy moments. Because being a narcissist, she's not going to be evil the whole time. And
Hmm.
according to people, she's different when Harry's around. So I think the bad behavior isn't really for Harry, it's more for staff. But I think she manipulates Harry. I don't
Mm.
think they're happy at all. So if they make it to 10 years, it'll be shocking. I thought 7 years, 7 year itch. But here it
Hmm.
is, 7 years, and they're still together because she's made it to where Padina, he has nobody.
He doesn't.
She is, what do they call it? What is it? Burn the bridge and sunk the boats.
Hmm.
He doesn't have
Hmm.
a lot of friends. I mean, the guy was wandering the streets of London looking for his friend, right?
Exactly.
Harrison, I'm sorry.
You
Uh,
okay?
his dad's not taking his phone calls. People are disgusted. So why not put the video out of her bumping and grinding? What are they going to lose at this point? He's lost everything.
So you say, because I know Neil Sean even talked about this.
Mhm.
She's taken a lot of photos. Like she's got a lot of.
Mhm,
compromise, as they say,
mhm,
on
mhm.
Harry.
Like
What
an
kind
Amber Heard situation with Johnny Depp.
wait a minute, what?
You know, like Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
Oh, yes, because
They
Amber
went on,
Heard did the same thing.
yeah, hmm yeah.
Okay, so what kind of footage do you think could exist?
I mean, the woman, they documented their whole entire relationship, like the
Right.
engagement. Weird, right? And why there's
Mhm.
always a camera following around. Maybe fights behind the scenes. Maybe she gaslighted him to where he erupted and screamed bloody murder. And she's like,
Mhm.
see, he's unhinged. You guys, look, I have to put up with this abusive partner. And he
Yep.
does, marijuana and mushrooms and talks to
Yep.
toilets. And he thinks I'm his dead mom. Oh my God,
Mm,
he's crazy. She's going to
yeah.
turn it around because if you've noticed, she does not criticize the royal family anymore since the Asian documentary. It's all Harry. It's
Yes.
not like Snow White. Poor
Mhm.
baby, I'm just trying to be loved. They're just so
Yeah.
mean to me because I'm half black. Really?
That's interesting.
I
Yeah.
I think she's got some footage of him
Yeah.
gaslighted to make it look like if they go through a divorce that she's a abused woman. I mean, she's already done the miscarriage. She's done
Yeah.
the racism. What else could she do? Oh, the abused woman.
Mhm. That's
That's
that's a good one.
that's my opinion. I could be wrong.
Huh. Well, I have to agree with you on that, but let's see what Marty Brown says. Thank you, Marty Brown. Thank you for your super chat. Hi, ladies. Do you think very many tickets were sold for Meghan Markle's gala, which was canceled? I just can't see very many people in Hollywood wanting to honor her. Girl, let me tell you, Marty. Is that a girl? Is that a girl, Marty?
Mart, I think so.
Marty. Yep, Marty. Thank you, Marty Brown, for your super chat.
Mhm.
Well, Michelle, what do you think?
Well, first of all, it wasn't technically Megan's event. She was one of wasn't there several people who were being honored? It wasn't just for her, was it?
I just saw her. I didn't know about any other
I
people
thought
being
it was an event for a lot of people. Again, I didn't look that deep to be honest.
okay.
Yeah. I can't imagine if it was just Megan, they would have sold $1,500 tickets.
Right. It could not have been just Megan because there's no way people. Oh no, the girl then left again. Oh my goodness. Okay, Marty, this is my opinion. Yeah, I do not think that very many tickets were sold. I just think a lot of people are not liking Megan. I think she is considered mud in California.
I'm
There, you,
sorry.
there she's back. She
It's
keeps
not me.
disappearing.
I don't know what is going on here. See, StreamYard technical issues is not just Medina.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
But I was thinking about the question here, and I think that Megan, there's no way they would have sold a lot of tickets with Megan. I think Megan has already made a name for herself. I mean, really, the publicists have already been saying it's been known do not uh, be around publicly Meghan Markle because it can damage your own brand. Like that has been going around within circles in Hollywood because Meghan brings a lot of negativity to your brand. And so I know that's what was talked about. And there was something that just happened, I think, with that lady, that Indian lady, what's this her name? The one that did the good life, that one friend of Megan's,
oh,
um,
yeah, Piranka.
Jamila Jamil or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah, I saw something quick about how someone had asked about, her friendship with Megan, and she kind of like threw it away, like there's no friendship.
Was that the one
So
who's married to Joe Jonas, or that's a different one?
yeah, yeah,
That's
her,
Piranka, whatever her name is.
yeah,
You don't ever see her with her friends. She's another Jessica Maroney, I think. Kind of got
yeah, she is, I think, and that's the thing with Megan. She throws so many people away. Like people talk in Hollywood, and it gets around, and I just don't think people are showing up to see Megan. And I think the canceling of that gala really was because there was actually so much going on in California right now anyway,
right.
and it was just not worth it because of the
Mhm.
ticket sales and the interest with so much happening. But Megan is not going to draw people to go buy tickets. I'm sorry, she's
Well,
just not.
according to Carol, she said that it was an annual event, but it was
Ah! Oh my goodness, woman. You keep disappearing on me. Okay. She's back. She's back.
I don't know if it's because I have a free version. If I can talk over an hour, I don't think they cut you off, do they?
No, it's so funny
Oh,
how you just
well, I'm sorry.
disappear.
Sorry, I've never been cut off the StreamYard before. This is so random. I don't
Yes,
know
it
my
is.
internet. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
These,
I don't think Megan draws enough people to
yeah,
warrant tickets at 1,500. I think that was the cost of the tickets, right? Like $1,500. Yeah.
yeah. So I think maybe they thought if they attach someone like her who gets headlines, maybe it'd make more people want to come to the
Yeah,
event.
yeah, yeah. But it's yeah.
Interested? I don't know. I'm sorry. I know I keep popping in. It's never happened to me before. I have no idea what's going on. But my power was teetering last night. I was telling Padina we had
Yeah,
storms. So
yeah.
anyway,
So
sorry about that.
that's okay. It's not your fault. But yeah, so that's the situation I think with the thank you so much, Marty Brown, for that. I really appreciate it. So to my what I think is going to happen, the future of Harry and Meghan. So you believe that Meghan is going to, use these children, they're her dividends, okay, and she's going to make a lot of money off of these children.
Yes.
Harry's going to go back to England, and Megan's just gonna do her influencer thing. That's what you're
And
saying.
probably get married to a man richer. She wants to be a
Oh,
bill.
yes. And I think she will find someone who will marry her crazy butt
Mm-hmm.
again. Yeah. So
Well, Jeff
here's what
Bezos is taken, but I think she would like Jeff Bezos money.
Jeff Bezos. Yeah, well, Jeff was looking like he's not really happy with
I think there's
his
some problems.
I think there's some problems going on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
So,
a prenup, and I think they're having issues with the prenup.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's
She's
the
a
problem.
beautiful woman, and let's be honest here, that's money well spent.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Money for that, and Megan just doesn't have the look he likes. I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think so either.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the thing is Megan is doing her right now, right? She's in California. She's doing the influencer thing. Everything she does will crumble. She will keep trying. She will keep
Mhm.
persevering and plowing through, because there are a small set of people that really do support her. But I think when the divorce actually does happen,
Mhm.
which I believe it will happen at some point,
Mhm.
closer to the 10-year mark, only because that's when the laws really change,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
Megan will, try to get as much as she can. But Harry will definitely want to bring those children because he's already talking about, or he
Right.
had been saying before, he said he was only going to go back to the UK during the Invictus 2027. But just prior to that, the story was that he wanted to bring his son Archie to the United Kingdom to know what it's like to be in England and to have some of that, history of, childhood life in the UK that Harry had.
Yeah.
Archie's not going to have any of those experiences, and neither are that
Which is
little
very
Billy
sad.
butt.
Which is very sad. Yeah,
It's
I
very
think Harry definitely is jealous of the Wells children. He's jealous of George, Charlotte, Louis in the limelight, living the royal life, because I think he definitely wants to bring his kids there, and that's a normal response.
yeah.
Uh, but he made that choice. Nobody made them leave. They did that on their own. But then, of course, he tells people they forced us out because they were so mean to Meghan and they wouldn't protect my wife in the press, which was a bunch of bullcrap.
Hmm.
And so everything they said is contradicted themselves. But again, Harry and Meghan are desperate. And I think because the royal family is ignoring them and has gone no contact, they're
Hmm.
doing the shock and awe because they just want to dominate the headlines. But I have to be honest with you, Padina,
Hmm.
I never thought we would see that kind of video. I thought it was AI. I thought it was a parody. I'm like, oh, that's a good parody. You wouldn't think that they would actually put that video out.
Right, right.
She
That is what is so
calls her
shocking.
Duchess of Sussex.
Yes.
And she gyrates like she's trying to earn rent money. I'm like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be royal. You're supposed to be up here. And then you have a D-list celebrity who's desperate for clicks on the gram.
Oh my God. No, you did not say she's doing it like she trying to make some money, girl. Go get that money, girl. Go
Well,
get
it's
that money. Oh,
it,
yes.
but she has 3.8 million followers. Now, remember, for the longest time, she was going between 2.9 and 3. She was like up and down. And then boom, she's at 3.8. So the controversy, the shock and the awe apparently is their marketing strategy. They
Mm,
don't care. They have nothing to lose. They think that's a good look for royals, right?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not a good look. I mean, if she wasn't a royal duchess and she was just a celebrity, I'd be like, okay, girl. But you're
Mhm.
supposed to be royal. You're supposed to have that mystique. You're
Right.
wanting people to call you, ma'am and curtsy, and your children literally giving birth to a princess. And this is what she does,
Right. And also sending out cards with HRH. Like who sends out a card with your title on it to your
yeah,
friends?
right?
Like for real, Megan, you gonna just go call yourself HRH to your friends? That don't make no sense. Like
And
how pretentious
so,
do you have to be?
so pretentious. And their doormat at their house is their logo, their cipher.
Are you serious?
Yes, ma'am.
Girl, now if that ain't ghetto, I don't know what is. I'm sorry. That's
Pretentious.
just ghetto. That's what people do that want to have the royalty look and like, oh, I'm gonna get my doormat and put my my logo on my doormat.
They love their titles. They love their pomp and circumstance. They love privilege. I mean, obviously, he's trying to sue to have the same protection as the king for a job that you quit 5 years ago. I
Well,
mean, they literally think that they're a peer, and it's like you've fallen so far that even like celebrities are like giving them side eye. Like, girl, did you see that
right.
video?
Did you
I
see that?
mean,
Right. And you know all the memes that people are making now of Megan twerking? I
God,
mean, they got the girl going full blown out there doing the nasty, okay? Like with the video that they're making in these memes. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like this is appalling,
mhm.
And now you just set yourself up to be mocked by the world. I mean, this is how unbelievable this woman is. That don't you know people are going to do this because of who you are? Uh,
Yeah, but I think her Instagram team must be like, run by a 14-year-old who's like, yeah, Megan, this is hot. Drop it like it's hot. Do y'all remember Paris Hilton? That's hot. Like, are they telling her this? Like, it's not. It's not hot for a royal duchess to do this. I
Right?
mean,
Look, yeah.
D list without telling me you're on the D list. Okay.
Right.
This,
Exactly.
this is like the point of no return. And the fact that they're standing by this, good
Right.
luck. No brands are going to work with you. No royals want to deal with you. No
Yeah.
A-listers. Um, I'm
Like,
sure Netflix was thrilled.
yeah. When they saw that, you should have saved that for the Netflix video.
Exactly. Exactly. I
Oh my gosh. Like, girl, go get that rent money. Go ahead, work it, girl. Work it. Oh yeah, here she go. Oh, she pulled the dress up.
yeah,
Twerk.
she's dropping it like it's hot. I mean,
You
this is
dropping it like it's hot, girl. You don't have oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Ugh, I can't take
Paula
it.
sent you something by WhatsApp. She said,
Oh,
maybe like a
oh,
video.
oh, 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 okay.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, well, I guess okay, let me finish. I gotta finish before we go, Miss Michelle. Hold on, let me just I have got to tell you what I think is going to happen with this
Okay.
couple here, okay? I want you to know what I believe is going to be the dealio with these two. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to save that one. Yeah, because I gotta wrap it up. Probably gonna pull me into a whole nother story. um, so this is what's gonna happen.
Okay.
Harry's gonna want to go back to the United Kingdom with the
Mhm.
children.
Yeah.
He's already seen now his children are missing out. They're not gonna have any resemblance of royalty in terms of their experiences.
Yeah.
Right? That's a big deal. Like being in like you can just go stay the night at the palace. Like you don't have to make a reservation or have know somebody
Right.
to go there. You don't have to wait and see if it's open. Is it open during, because it closes to tourism certain times of the
Oh
year.
yeah.
Like
Huh?
you could that's like where you can go. Like your children will never have these experiences that a lot of people like myself and others who would really love to have these experiences. And what's going to happen is, I believe, is there's going to be a big nasty fight between Meghan and Harry around the children. Harry wanting to take them to the United Kingdom, Meghan wanting them to stay in the States, because we have to remember Meghan won't even let Harry even take these children with him, like by himself, to the United Kingdom for a visit. Like she won't even have that because she thinks
Which
she'll
is
lose
kind of
the
shocking,
children.
don't you think?
Absolutely.
If she's giving
Absolutely.
her kids royal titles, they want to have all the pomp and circumstance, then why can't he take them to the UK? What's the problem?
She won't let him because she thinks
Yeah.
that they'll never come back.
Hmm.
So he can't take the children. So
Or the security thing, right? Maybe it's the whole security
yeah,
thing. You
it's
don't know.
yeah, I think that's the excuse,
Yeah.
right? I think that's the excuse, but at the same
Mhm.
time, it's what's going to happen because Harry's desperately going to want to go back with the children, and Meghan's not going to allow it to happen. And I believe this couple is going to have the worst divorce publicly before the whole world of all time. Like it's going to get really nasty.
Especially if she has all this secret footage. Yeah. And uh,
Exactly.
and they didn't sign a prenup, right? As far as I know, there was no prenup.
Right. Exactly.
And Megan doesn't have an NDA. She has a lot to say, all
Yep.
those secret diaries. Um,
Yeah.
so at this point, Harry, you might as well stay with her because
Might as well
might
because
as well.
and I think the king is still supporting Harry. I think the king is still trying to get Harry to, I don't know,
I don't think
trying to help him a little bit.
I don't think he is anymore. And maybe I'm not popular in that. I used to believe that, but I
Mhm.
really think, Charles, in my opinion, and I like Charles. I like Charles.
You
But
like Charles.
I
Okay. You
do
like
like
the
King
king.
Charles. I feel bad for Charles because, in my opinion, Charles is what I call a placeholder king, and I mean that in the nicest way. But you have to
Mhm.
remember, he came after his mother, who was the longest ruling monarch in history for the UK, 70 years. He's
Mhm.
already in his mid 70s, right? And he's
Mhm.
basically just trying to hold on because after the queen died, that was a huge blow to the monarchy. A lot of people wanted it to end. And that's when we started to see the rising of the anti-monarchy. And then, of course, we had Megxit, which didn't help. And Charles is having to deal with Harry and Meghan, which they've never had to deal with that at that level in the history of the royal family. It's a whole new thing. But in
Mhm.
my opinion, Charles is kind of a placeholder. He's holding it in place for William, right? But I do like
Interesting.
Charles.
Yeah.
I don't believe he is supporting Harry the way he was in the beginning of Megxit. I think after the book's fair, after the H&M documentary, it's become very apparent that he's dangerous. And they kind of had to separate. Also, he's dealing with an incurable cancer, and
Mhm.
the future queen who also had cancer. So they got a lot more things to worry about than Harry if he can keep the lights on it in Montecito. So he knows Harry has inheritance. Harry has a ton of money. If he really wanted to help Harry, he could have reinstated the security, but he didn't. So I don't believe Charles is supporting him on that level, but I don't believe he shut the door 100% because he
Yeah.
still says you can come stay at a royal residence. But if you notice, he hasn't made any real time for Harry. Every
That
time
is
he's in the
true.
UK, nobody supports him.
Right.
I think the royal family now has gone no contact because they have to, not that he wants to. So, in my opinion, I don't believe he's financially supporting him. Now, I could be wrong. But again, I don't think he is. I think the last check was in March of 2020, maybe a couple after. But I think when it became apparent that he's dangerous and can't be trusted, they
Mhm.
had to cut him off. And that's why they're acting out because they've been cut off.
Mhm.
That's what I think. But
Interesting. Yeah, I think the king is probably in a little bit
mhm,
trying to be supportive. I think it's caused problems with the king and William because William is definitely, kick him to the curb. I don't want nothing to do with him. Don't know nothing. Like
mhm.
I think there's some rift going on between the royals, the king and
Yes.
William right now. I do.
I believe that the king is kind of following the old fashioned after Queen Elizabeth, never complain, never explain. And William's like, nope, let's cut
Mhm.
the cancer out. No pun intended, but let's cut him out. And I think that's why Charles is kind of holding on to that old fashioned way of doing things. And I
Mhm.
think after Charles passes, it's going to be a new sheriff in town. It's going to be a new monarchy. And there's rumors that Lily was taken off the website. I don't know if that's true. She's still in the line of succession, but again, with people asking questions, maybe they'll start asking for documentation. I think under William, that's when they're going to have a new monarchy. He's definitely making a lot of changes, modernizing the royals, which needs to be done. It's a very archaic institution. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until 2013 when the Queen changed the law that where Charlotte could keep her place in line when she was
Right.
bypassed by her brother. That was just 2013. They also
Right.
where a Roman Catholic can now be in the line of succession. That just happened. So they're very old, they're very traditional, and I don't think Charles wants to make waves. He's keeping
Mm.
the status quo. He's a placeholder. And that's why I think when William comes on board, it's going to be different because it has to. They
Drastically.
do need to change. Um, but as far as Charles doing it, I don't see it happening.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
No one.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So Harry will, yeah, I think, and as long as his father is alive, I think there's a little glimmer of just
Yes.
a little
Hmm.
help and hope for him. But the future for Harry is going to be a very tragic one. Very
Well, right.
tragic.
I do believe his father loves him, but I think he loves him from afar. And I think they've realized he's 40 years old. You know, people keep acting like he's this little baby. He's 40.
Right. Right.
He's a man child. I think, after he went after Camilla and after he had cancer, I think things might have changed.
Yeah.
Perspective, he doesn't have, we don't know how much time he has, but again, I think his perspective has changed and they're just focusing on what they're doing, with the monarchy and with Harry and Meghan, you know, I'm sure Charles would love to see the kids, but he can't trust Harry.
You're right.
Harry, he's basically holding the kids over his father's head. Well, if you don't do what I want, you're not going to see them.
Right.
What kind of
Mm,
person
yeah.
wants to have a relationship with someone who does that to you?
Well, the regret is going to be
Yeah,
huge for him.
yeah.
Harry's future is very glim. I think it's going to
People I
be
feel sorry for is Archie and Betty.
mm,
Whether how they came in this world, whatever, they don't deserve this. They don't
right.
have any family besides Harry and Meghan and
Yeah.
Georgia, who doesn't seem like she's really there.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them. I do.
I feel sorry for the little girl that she's named after the queen's pet name.
Okay. So there you go. There's two more we need to add to the pile, Padina,
That's
about how she's
that's
a bad person. She stole
that's
nicknames and named
yeah.
her children
Yeah.
Archie and Lilibet.
Yes.
That. She stole Prince George's nickname, security name,
Mhm.
stole the Queen's name without permission.
Right.
Oh,
How vindictive do you have to be?
yes.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And that just, the children are going to be the victims of that later in life, I think, because they'll be made fun of or, talked about. It's just all the way around tragic for the children and for Harry. And who's the one just living life, twerking and trying to make money as the influencer? Megan,
It's
regardless of
sad.
the children and the husband. She's doing her. And so this is why we give Megan, I think, such a hard time because of all the bad she has done, all the wrong that she has done. And Harry has been complicit in that by allowing her. He was like the handbag that brought her along, that had the doors open up for her to do these things.
And the fact that he was in the video and he's okay with it, I guess. So to
Yeah,
me, like, okay, now you're partners in crime.
yep,
So I used to feel sorry for Harry. I don't anymore.
you're right. Don't feel sorry for Harry. Harry is a dweeb.
Hmm. Yeah.
He's. So
Someone
that's
asked a
this.
question. Missy Lulu says, "Do you think Harry will remarry and have more children?" Oh, it went up like Charles, like his uncle Charles Spencer. It went up.
It went away. Oh, it went away. Can you still?
I think you maybe scroll down. Yeah. Anyways, I do see Harry if he actually does divorce Meghan. I kind of do see him remarrying. Um,
Uh-huh.
maybe someone who's more traditional, like a Sophie. Maybe someone who doesn't want to be in the limelight. But as
Yeah.
far as being a working royal, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I could see him being with a very low profile woman, having more children later.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. I see that for Harry. Thank you,
But
Lizzie B, for your gifted membership.
yeah.
What was that thing you just said?
Okay, so do you think Megan would remarry after Harry did like to a rich man?
Uh, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely.
It says who would want to marry him? Well, I
A
mean
lot.
that's true, but
A
yeah,
lot
he's
of people want to marry him. That Diana's son, just the fact that he's Diana's son,
yeah,
absolutely a lot of people.
that's what
So,
people are saying. Yeah,
yeah, he's born into this. He's got it for the rest of his life. So,
yeah,
alrighty. Well, that is all that I have. I want everyone to please hit the like button right now. Please hit that like button and like this live. And I'm going to, can we say, Michelle?
yeah.
Yeah, I will be on Michelle's channel on Sunday. On Sunday. So check me out on Sunday. What time, Michelle? Is it again?
Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. England time.
6 p.m. Eastern time. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
And
1 p.m. Eastern, 12 Central, 6 p.m. England
it-
time.
oh, England. I don't know why I was thinking in the evening because we're in the evening now.
Channel, so y'all can go check it out. So we're going to talk about more juicy stuff. I'm sure there might be new stuff by the
I
time.
think we should play a game of I can come up with some questions,
Yeah,
we can play some royalty games around, like just throwing out there. There's just so much out there. I'm
uh,
gonna have to serious think about that.
if you guys have
Uh,
a good time, let us know. We'll come up with some games. We can do a bingo or something. I did
yeah.
I did have a
that-
bingo card that we could predict like things that they would do. But honestly, I'm so flabbergasted still over the video. I don't even
yeah,
know.
I know, right? There's just a lot there to watch. I mean, with her doing that, yeah. But she was getting it though, wasn't she?
Well,
She was getting it.
Missy Lulu says polls. I think we could do polls on StreamYard. I don't know how to do it.
Oh, okay. So let's see here. Let's do a poll real quick before we get out of here. Okay, so let's see. Media assets. Let's see. Okay. Create. I don't see how I can do a poll.
We'll have
Create
to think of that.
background.
Think of that. I
I'll
know
have to figure it out.
you
But
might
what
have to pay for it. I don't know.
you know what? Oh yeah, you probably might have to pay for it. Yeah, I think you might have to. We ghetto around here. We got the free
With
version.
me constantly getting kicked out, yeah.
Yes, if Michelle get kicked out, yeah, we got the ghetto going on here.
So, anyway,
But that's okay. We'll do it next time. This is something that we'll do again. I'll definitely want to have you back,
try to figure it
Michelle.
out. Yeah, for Sunday.
Yeah,
But yeah, come join me on my channel. So hopefully y'all will be able to come over to my channel, and we'll have the Lucky Padina over there, and we'll try to think of some fun trivia questions, maybe, or maybe some polls. We'll think of something.
yeah, absolutely. The link to Michelle's channel is in the description. And I will see you all on Sunday, hopefully. If not, well, yeah, check out my video tomorrow, Friday. I'll be putting out a video. Michelle, what's your next video? Or what's the next thing you're doing?
Hopefully Friday or Saturday. Yeah, haven't started it
Okay,
yet.
so you'll be just live on
I'll be
this
live
weekend.
Sunday for sure, and there's probably going to be a video dropping Friday or Saturday.
Or
On
Friday or Saturday for the
yeah,
video.
one of the two. Hopefully,
Okay,
maybe.
one or the two. Okay, I know. It's like how you feel, what's going on, Yeah, I get it. I get it. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining me today, and so happy to have done this live. Sorry it was later in the day, and thanks for all your understanding around that little mishap that I had earlier, because that's just how life is sometimes. All
Yeah.
right, we'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Bye. Thanks, Michelle. Thank you.